And how are you feeling at the moment, Mike?
Pretty nervous, Peter. Always tend to get a bit nervous before the game, but that's not a bad thing.
It's a very compact ground, isn't it? Looking at the touchline, there's not much space to spare between the near touchline and the terracing in the stands.
Yeah, I feel that's not a bad thing personally, because it helps to generate a good atmosphere amongst the crowd, and it keeps the players in contact with the crowd.
And it could go to extra time or penalties. How would you feel if it went to a penalty shootout?
Well, obviously it's the same for both clubs, and it's just a matter of keeping your bottle and hitting the back of the net with the penalty.
I mean, there is only one replay. Is that a good thing, or is it maybe a bad thing? I know you can see it from the point of view that fixtures pile up as it is, but on the other hand, if you do end up level with Derby at the end of 120 minutes, then surely you deserve a second stab rather than it having to go to a lottery of a shootout.
Well, same again, Peter. That's both. It's the same for both clubs. So at the end of the day, if we lose or if Derby losing penalties, it's just the way it goes, isn't it? But I'm all for the one-off system, because I think with the backlog of games you get in the league, plus the amount of cup games you have, I think it gets a bit farcical, really.
To McMinn again, faced by Ian Measham. McMinn cuts in field, away from Francis. Hayward, McMinn takes over, the space is opened up for the shot. Ted McMinn forces Mark Kendall into a save. Will Burnley play it short, or will they go for a bending corner? No, it's the same again. Andy Farrell once more. And the near post shot, it was worth a try from Andy Farrell. Derby County left him for a second time, short of the corner flag. McMinn's cross. Phil G, the space opening up for Phil G. Near post shot, over the line. Phil G has opened the scoring for Derby County. Mark Kendall got a hand to the ball, but couldn't stop it crossing the line. And in the 27th minute, Derby County have broken the deadlock. Free kick. McMinn going up for the ball with John Francis, and it's Derby County's throw. Omenroyd across to the near side. Hayward on the edge of the area. Forced to the far touchline, Stephen Hayward. But finding Simon Coleman. And a chance for Phil G. Kendall's of his line. Cleared away by Joe Jacob. Phil G again. The volley going towards the 6-yard area. And still Burnley can't get the ball away. Kendall's of his line. Mark Patterson hits one. What a stunning goal from Mark Patterson. Well, you might ask questions there about the defending. Conroy trying to turn Coleman, and Conroy threads the ball through. John Francis, it might fall for Francis. Well, the ball bobbled around in the area. I think it was John Deary who had the second touch. It was John Deary. Francis saw his first shot blocked. John Deary following up. But again, the second shot was blocked. Well, I can't see this game lasting too much longer. The referee's given a free kick on the far side of the field. Shilton, and he missed it. I can't quite see who the player was. It was Roger Eli, who he's normally saw a depth from these sort of situations if Burnley can exploit this corner kick to the full. Jacobs' corner. Pender at the near post! Headed off the line! Well, no, the players are heading for the touchline. When it got at its thickest, how farcical was it out on the pitch?
Well, it was. I mean, we couldn't see Peter Shilton, our goalkeeper, and it was just impossible to see the ball coming from his kicks. So it was, in the end, it was probably dangerous for the players on the pitch.
I mean, when you got called off to the dressing rooms for that 15-minute interim, was there a hope amongst the Burnley players that it would eventually be abandoned?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what we wanted. I mean, like we said, with 20 minutes left and 2-0 down, we're up against backs against the wall, but we've got another bite at the cherry.
We're very relieved to be able to have a second bite of the cherry, or albeit a third bite of the cherry. We were very disappointed in the fact that we conceded 2 goals the way we did, but in saying that, from their point of view, what a magnificent second goal, absolutely magnificent second goal. And I thought that if we could get in at half-time, keeping it just at 2-0, have a quick chat with the lads and let's lay 1 or 2 things down what we're looking for in the second half, we might give ourselves a chance. And I really felt that we played well second half, and we took the game to Derby and we created 1 or 2 very, very good chances which we didn't put away. And then of course this happens. The fog.
I think I'm right in saying amidst the fog that John Deary had a shot when John Francis was blocked in the area, and then when the fog lifted, John Pender's header was cleared off the line by Gary Micklewhite.
That's right, exactly. You know, there's 2 very good chances. I mean, Roger was just went in front of the ball once, which I thought he might have done a little bit better with. But by and by, we caused them, we caused them enough problems to have really got ourselves back into the game.
Well, then the players left the field for what we thought was just going to be 15 minutes. What thoughts passed through your mind then? Were you keeping your fingers crossed?
Yeah, well, obviously at that stage, the one thing you didn't want to do is for your players to go in like in a second half time, and it gives a chance for their manager to try and put 1 or 2 things right on their behalf, in which they might have stemmed the tide of the pressure that we were having. So of course at that late stage, and obviously I was hoping that the referee would call it off.
Do you believe in God?
Well, I was telling the lads about a story that Dennis Law once scored 6 goals in an FA Cup game for Huddersfield, and it was called off because of fog. And in the